Hello and welcome to American Wasp on this space. I am Deter McBizness, America's favorite white Anglo-Saxon Protestant gone left coastal. Joined as always with me today is from Devil's Advocate Productions, Alex.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
How's it going, folks? Uh,
Good, good, good. How you doing, bro? It's been a while.
yeah, I know.
It's
It's
what
been a
happens.
week.
It's what happens when you take a week off. It ends up being 2 weeks. So it was good. I hope people tuned in. Did my first two essays last week instead of the regular show. Alex and I both just had shit going on, and man, a lot's happened since then.
Yeah.
I know you've been online a lot, so I'm interested to cover whatever you want. But I wanted to start out with just letting you know something specific with my content creation is my partner for Left Coast Live, which we used to do once or twice a week. Stateless Patriot. He's just had it with news and YouTube content creation. He's just taken the rest of the year off,
Yeah.
and he's just had it.
I can
So
understand.
I still stay connected with him. I told him, I said, man, if you have any insightful things to say that you want to just give to me, you know,
Yeah.
just go ahead and shoot me a text, man. If you are paying attention, some kind of insight comes your way, you let me know. But no, the usual shit with me is I've still got way too much conservatism and way too much MAGA in my life. I don't know if I told you, but I found out another member of my extended family is MAGA,
Oh no.
and fortunately, I'm not tight with this person, but it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate
Yeah.
because he or she is probably, based on the way that they're talking about it, never gonna come back. Um,
That sucks. That sucks,
let's
man.
see. Yeah, it's okay. These things happen. I've gotten used to it, man.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it. It's just the way life goes in America today. You either got to choose your country or fascism if you encounter a MAGA friend or family member. You know, that's really where you have to choose where your loyalty lies, because MAGA fascism is just as anti-American as it gets.
It's. I mean, let's start there, because a bunch of texts got leaked, and of the Young Republicans Club, and these are, choice words. The full article here is in Political. Like, it's just the most vile, you know,
It's everything you would expect,
it's
right?
everything I would expect, but
And then
also
some.
like
And then some.
I could see 10 and 11-year-olds like talking like this do you remember the whole comedian thing is starting to get to me, right? And I think the thing is like they thought just saying slurs was a joke, and it was about how you craft the joke, like Carlin would, or
Sure.
fucking Mitch Hedberg, or uh but they just skate right past that, and they're too dumb to understand, and they don't get that the joke is, oh my god, this is so racist. Like whenever they point out Jimmy Kimmel or Sarah Silverman did blackface or whatever, it's like the joke was, this is so offensive, no one would do this. Not
Yeah.
this is just the weaponization of that over the last 20 years by the right wing, and this is how they're talking to each other. And they don't.
Behind closed
It's not
doors.
a
Yeah.
joke. They're serious. They just talk about it as if it were a joke. They're always talking like.
What were some of your highlights? Let's get specific.
I
What were
mean,
some of your
the
highlights?
title of the article is right there.
I
But
love
just
Hitler.
like, yeah, man. Like, let's put this back on screen. Like, it's just the most. That's that's why it reminds me of like 10-year-olds. They feel like kids at school looking over their shoulders for the teacher and like saying bad words to each other, but they're in controls of the levers of government now because they meme their way to the White House. It's internet culture. It's the basest, lowest form of internet culture. Because have you ever been in a fucking video game lobby where you can hear other people talking, playing Call of Duty or something, or Madden? It's the most, it's just slurs, constant slurs.
Constant slam.
And it has been since people could talk to each other over the internet. The first thing we did as a species with the internet is show each other porn and curse each other. That's the first thing we did. It started getting into arguments. So I mean, that's number one.
Yeah.
Of the things that happened today. This is a little addendum to that. How do I? My bad. There we go. Swastika found in the office of Representative Dave Taylor, Ohio, Republican. Can you believe it?
Weird.
In his office, in the congressional office. It was on a Zoom meeting. So that's where they're at.
Wow.
They're open. They're letting their fucking Nazi flags fly at this point.
Yeah, I think the issue there is a lot of moderates and centrists don't want there to be social punishment for MAGA, and I just don't see any other way to make sure there's a long-term solution to this ideological
Because it's
problem.
their friends. They had Cheryl Hines on The View today, and you can tell the women are trying to be like, you can kind of criticize them, and she just won't because that's her husband.
Right.
But it's like RFK is fucking slashing the CDC. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I got clips of Gavin Newsom and Cory Booker.
Let's do the Newsom one.
All right, let's do the Newsom one first.
Yeah, let's do the Newsom one first since I'm out in California sweating it.
Yeah, so they were both asked on different podcasts. This is, I think, Gavin Newsom's podcast. I don't know. But he had on Van Lathan to, do a fucking podcast because every politician has a podcast now.
Everyone has a podcast.
Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting. I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC. It's interesting. It's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC. And it's interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is super interesting. Do you know about the most powerful institutions in our government?
Yeah, you're a governor and you haven't
I
heard
don't
about
believe that.
AIPAC.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second.
Blatant. I can't talk about this.
Playing dumb. He's just playing
I
dumb.
didn't know I would be asked this question.
He was playing dumb for sure.
And this is the, I think, lesson that people mistook from The Daily Show, Sacha Baron Cohen, the catching a politician saying something crazy. It's not just to dunk on them and they get embarrassed for a little while and then they go on having a career. It's like, no, these are policy differences that we have. These are fundamental philosophical differences
positions
that we have.
Yes.
And it's not just, you're going to go on Colbert next week and, do a skit
and do this,
and everyone
do the
will
celebrity
forget.
president bullshit. No, are you actually going to pass meaningful policy?
Yeah. I mean, look, Snicks, I'd vote for Newsom if he was the nominee too.
No matter who the Republican is, I'm going to vote for Newsom.
I'm going to vote for the Democrat.
This is fascism we're talking about.
But again, he's not my preferred. My preferred would be someone like Jamie Prisker, who's already talking about we're going to prosecute these fucking ICE people. We're not even maybe not today, but we're also looking into how fast we can do this right now. So someone taking a stance. But Cory Booker here, this is 4 minutes.
She's killing it. The I've had it girls,
they're fucking. I don't know who let them on CNN or have a bigger profile.
I'm proud to say I found the I Had It women 6 months ago, way before everyone else did.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
they
are for a while.
They are
I've been
killing
them
it
for a while. They're great.
But they bring up AIPAC again, and there's a longer clip, but she's talking about how Marjorie Taylor Greene has been going out there and being like, "Fuck AIPAC, America first. Spend your money here. Stop sending it over to Israel."
Right.
And how that makes Democrats look bad.
Been Israel first. And for rural people and suburban people, when they hear that messaging, it allows a grifter and an opportunist like Marjorie Taylor Greene, for people that don't follow the 24-hour news cycle, to say, yeah, why do they have free health care and we don't? Why are we sending them all of these bombs and they're killing kids and we don't? I think in order for us to come together as a party in 2026, it's going to take leadership saying things like Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. We have to stop funding the war. And we've evolved on the issue. And I think it's okay. I think we're all at a place right now where we can accept that we have the leaders that we have. And I agree with you that we agree on 98 out of 100 things. And if we agreed 100 out of 100, we'd be in a cult, would be MAGA. And we're not that. We're always going to disagree on things. And I genuinely hear you when you say people don't know who Chuck Schumer is. You're exactly right. So many Americans do not know who that is at all. We all do, obviously. And I think the economic messaging, but I do think that if the Democrats leave this vacuum there, it's going to get filled by the people in MAGA that are seeing a post-Trump America. And it's super easy messaging with the America First thing. It's just something I want you to think about, because I think it's a political liability for our party right now.
They're calling me for a vote. Let me just say this.
He's trying to get out of there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
first
I
of
saw
all,
that part.
why aren't people talking about when Obama was using American jets to refuel Saudi planes that were dropping bombs on Yemenis children? Why weren't we yelling and screaming about that?
Some people were.
Yeah, some people were.
The progressives were.
I mean, they say this too about immigration. Like, why weren't you protesting Biden? It's like they were.
Like
you
the
were
progressives
covering
were.
it.
This is the left that you're not paying attention to. This is your quote unquote base.
This is what's coming up. This is what's coming up to take those seats.
I spoke out against it. But
No, it was bad, but we have to talk about current.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish, because they're going to pull me away.
You're gonna pull me away.
Why?
Not me.
And again,
They.
I've been fighting for more funding from the Horn of Africa to the Congo to Sudan. Why can't we get people to care in this country enough, where our top podcasts are saying it's wrong that we are implicated in so many things, people dying on the continent of Africa? Why Haiti? Why?
Yo,
Deflection. That's just deflection.
The deflection is crazy.
You're just deflecting, dude. You're not talking about Israel and AIPAC.
Literally,
you can't talk
on my
about
phone.
Israel and American government without talking about AIPAC. It's ridiculous.
My background is a drawing of the Kendrick Super Bowl, and they have the protester with the Palestine and Sudan flag.
Nice.
Like, they're talking about it, Corey.
So yeah,
They're
some
talking
people
about
are
it. You're
talking
not
about
listening. You're not
Yeah.
doing anything about it.
Yeah, it's just a distraction. And he's just like, yeah, we
This is
gotta
like
do
Coney
something about it.
2012. Do you remember Coney 2012?
Comey?
Coney. It was
Coney?
Kony. It was like a Twitter movement of like, oh my God, there's this warlord in Africa named Coney, and he's doing all these bad things. We got to stop him. Like Michelle Obama has like hashtag Coney 2012. Like, what do you? You're in power. Are you doing anything about it? Are you talking about it? Are you holding a filibuster for fucking Sudan? No, you're not. You're just being asked a question about Israel, and you don't want to answer it.
Exactly, because they're the established power, and he's scared to death of them. And because you got to understand, these PACs don't just have money on the people; they have like dirt on them too. Like I have no doubt that AIPAC has dirt on every single one of its, members, were the money recipients.
Absolutely.
And that's scary too. I wish it would all come out. I mean, I don't know. What's your favorite thing to throw in a MAGA trash face right now? I just say ICE raids, Epstein files, and like
Epstein was
the big beautiful bill, like one-sided tax cuts.
It's just Epstein, dude. All you gotta do is just be like Epstein.
Yeah, ICE raids. Yeah, but ICE raids are important. I think because of
but they don't care, is what I'm saying. Like they're usually racist or whatever. Like, get them out. Who cares?
Right.
That's
true.
They're not gonna stop me or anyone I know. So what do I care?
Right. The narcissism.
But if it's just like, dude, Epstein.
I wonder if America, because America historically, something I talked reference to my last 2 videos from last week was America is like the individual, right? That's like the emergence of the individual in human history. And now does that circle around and like devolve into a specific type of individual, which is predominantly the narcissist, and that's what comes to define our culture.
I mean, it is right now.
Different kinds of narcissists, like people who are tribal narcissists. Really, they're tribal narcissists. They're like only me and my kind.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, it really is like showing. Our ass is showing right now. America's ass is showing right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time, like it did with Bush, and Obama did the apology tour that Fox called it, of like going around and being like, "Hey, sorry for like Iraq and Afghanistan, and calling you all pussies for 10 years and whatever."
Yeah.
And like, how can America come back from this? I think so. I hope so.
With the right leadership.
I think with the right leadership, I think people.
We got to have big balls leadership. I like Graham. Yeah. Plattner.
Like Graham Plattner. This was in response to Janet Mills announcing that she's running in Maine against Susan Collins, while he's been running against Susan Collins. This is the Democratic establishment's attempt to, not have a progressive in the seat. And this was his response yesterday, which I think was perfect, actually.
Hey, Graham Plattner here, running for Senate up in Maine. I'm running against Susan Collins, AIPAC, Super PACs, the entire DC establishment. Now, I know that Janet Mills just got in this race, and you're probably receiving a mountain of fundraising texts and emails. I'm pretty new to this politics thing, but I've learned something over the past few weeks. When you donate to Chuck Schumer, when you donate to the big Democratic Super PACs, what they do is share their lists with candidates that they like. They put their thumb on the scale. And what they do is they use access to those lists of donors, those lists of people who have given, like yourself, and they use that to give it to the candidates that they like Janet Mills.
So he just perfectly explains why everyone, like he's talking to his constituents. That's perfect. Hey guys, you probably got a bunch of emails today. Here's why. And also, in explaining it, he just kind of shits on them for doing all the games that they're playing. In just explaining why you would have gotten a bunch of emails if you were me. I love it. I think it's great messaging. I mean, he also sounds
great.
like Hulk Hogan, like good Hulk Hogan from the 80s when everybody loved him.
Dude, I love his aesthetic and his story. I think it's great. It's like, he's right out of the coast of Maine, and that's what it's known for. It's a special place. You ever been to Maine?
Yes, actually, a year or two ago, went for a friend's wedding, and it was lovely. Got to see the fucking stars. I have no idea. I don't remember.
Okay. Was it on
it was
the coast,
up there. It was 11 hours. Yeah, we saw like all the waterways and stuff. It was beautiful.
Cool.
It was gorgeous up there.
Yeah, it's a great state.
And delicious lobster.
Oh yeah.
But this is another Democratic guy. He's running for what is he doing? Running for U.S. Senate in Michigan. Dr. Abdul El Sayed. And I think this was a perfect way to message Medicare for all. Because you have to appeal to people's like you're saying, narcissism and greed and whatever. So
Medicare for All is a small business empowerment program, right? Investing in public schools is a small business empowerment program. But then beyond that, huge corporations play this game with state and local governments. They pit them against each other for whoever is willing to give them bigger and bigger tax breaks. And I would rather than giving huge corporations who don't need the tax break, I would rather give small businesses tax breaks. Medicare for All is a...
I think that's a perfect way to message to the corporate types.
Yeah,
like,
small
hey,
business owners. I think small business owners are the largest category of employers in America, even like category.
Oh yeah,
I think so. So it depends, or it might very well be in that district, in that area that he's running in. I don't know. Usually a lot of talking points like that are based on figures like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Or who
I
he's talking
just
to.
think like
he's probably talking to a lot of small business owners right there.
yeah, and I think just like messaging that as like, yes, if you invest in your schools, you'll have
But no
a
one's-
better
but still,
workforce.
no one's
Like even
going
if you're
after-
talking about it in capitalist forms, it's like okay, you can still pitch this to capitalists.
Right. But he's got to get to the fundamentals though, which is like how we define the relationship between the government and the citizen. We have got to get over this.
Yeah.
We keep arguing the point of whether or not government is the problem. It's safe to say the unregulated free market is the problem. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we got on our hands right now, is an unregulated, off the rails free market. And here's the deal. It's been spiraling into this for 45 years. Someone needs to say this. Like there's a saying, the battle for the future is waged in our understanding of the past. And we need to come to terms with how flawed our thinking has been for so long. I'm telling you, like an alcoholic or a drug addict, and our addiction is greed.
Yeah.
It is greed. Even that
Yeah.
we need to frame it these ways is indicative of the centerpiece of our society being greed. And I want equal opportunity society. I don't want communism. I don't think everybody deserves the same. And it's impossible to have that anyway, because
Yeah.
some
There's-
parts of the country are always going to be better to live in than other parts. So how are you going to get equality? You're going to make everywhere as good as the next place? No way. Give me a break. It's not going to happen.
And with who defines good and like
Right,
you know,
exactly. Come
if it
on.
was up to me, everything would be like Mega City 1 from Judge Dredd. Like I want city everywhere. I don't want to see any greed. But you know, other people want to see cul-de-sacs everywhere and whatnot.
I want, I don't know, the mountains and the green, like Iowa. Iowa might be my favorite state aesthetically for that reason.
I could
Beautiful.
not tell you that like what
Beautiful. You got to do a
Everything-
cross-country drive at some point, man.
I mean, that would be cool. I would love to do that.
You gotta
That
do a
actually has been a
cross-country
lifelong
drive at some
dream.
Yeah,
But
you should.
speaking of good messengers for
Yeah.
the Democratic Party,
Yeah.
Mr. Zoran Mamdani today was on Fox News.
Oh my
And
God.
I think
Oh,
we
let's
should
get
just
it.
go
Nice.
through all these clips because we're gonna
Yeah,
definitely
let's
talk about
enjoy
it
this.
tomorrow.
Let's chew on this.
Join us, Deter, if you're available. We're doing the debate Zoran
Wow.
versus Cuomo tomorrow,
Okay. Okay.
starting at around 7, folks.
Okay,
so-
4 p.m. Okay.
But you know, jump in the Discord for all that.
I might be able. I
But-
might be able to join at the end of it because think I got a football game to go to. But yeah,
Word. But yeah, so this was, you know, highly anticipated. Aired at 3:00 in the middle of the day. So, you know, where they
middle of the
placed
day.
it
Why
on
would they not put this in
importance.
prime time? That's so
Because
lame.
they don't want anyone to hear him talk. That's why. But yeah, here
You
we
want to
go.
be the mayor of New York City, which, you know, last night I chat GPT'd, where is the capitalist and global finance center of the world? And it said New York City, which made me feel good as someone who loves New York City. Is that a moniker that you're proud of and one that you want to continue for this city?
We should be proud of it, and I will also say that that's one thing you have in common with Andrew Cuomo, because he also uses ChatGPT to answer many questions, including how to actually resolve the housing crisis in this city. And
Right.
it's time that we are not only proud of us being the financial capital, the cultural capital, but also we should make it a capital of where working people can afford to live in this city. Because right now what we're seeing is that 1 in 4 New Yorkers are being priced out of the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
That's absolutely true. One of the things that's also true.
So again, just great.
No,
community.
we're going to stick with him, aren't we?
Definitely. Yeah, I got
Okay.
some more.
Yeah, let's stick with him. Because I mean, he's just a pro.
He's so good at
You know, some say
messaging.
you have never.
Here we go.
I want people to recognize too, though, that like, yeah, a lot of it's talent, but the other two variables that go into creating a communicator as effective and as efficient as Zoran Mamdani is a combination of training and then the work ethic to prepare for these things.
Yeah.
He's not coming in just off. He knows what he's going to get asked. And
Yeah.
he has specific things, and he has little jabs that he wants to make, that get like the Cuomo thing.
And he's
So
always smiling. He never
Yeah.
loses composure.
well, that's required though. That's the ethos.
I like how
baggage.
she tried to be like, well, I chat GPT'd as if it sounds like I Googled this.
Right.
Like we're trying to replace Google because Google's woke or whatever.
Or she's
But
trying to sound cool or something because the
yeah,
kids
I
are
don't know.
using that. Who knows?
Sometimes they'll throw in
It's
duck, duck,
Fox
go.
News. Fox not news, man. What a joke.
And I want to talk about
It
your
was about
qualifications.
the free buses and his qualifications.
You know, some say you have never run a business in
Who
your
cares?
life. So I'm curious. And President Trump said
So what?
that you never worked a day in your life. You worked as an assemblyman, and you've had other positions in the government. But what qualifies you from your life experience to run the largest city in the country?
You know, I want to take this moment because you spoke about President Trump, and he may be watching right now. And I just want to speak directly to the president, which is that I will not be a mayor like Mayor Adams, who will call you to figure out how to stay out of jail. I won't be a disgraced governor like Andrew Cuomo, who will call you to ask how to win this election. I can do those things on my own. I will, however, be a mayor who is ready to speak at any time to lower the cost of living. That's the way that I'm going to lead this city. That's the partnership I want to build, not only with Washington, D.C., but anyone across this country. I think it's important because too often the focus on the needs of working class Americans, working class New Yorkers are put to the side as we talk more and more about the very kinds of corrupt politicians like Andrew Cuomo that delivered us into this kind of crisis.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Like
man,
Cuomo,
he's
by the
right.
way. Like he mentioned it and talked
I just hope he
directly
makes
to
it across the finish line and nothing crazy happens.
Me too.
That's
I think
And I want to talk about your
framing it like, hey man, cost of living. How can you argue with that? Like, how are you gonna attack me for addressing you? You know, like trying to make it the most friendliest or neutral possible position.
Well, just issue. He's basically he's got an opportunity to make it about one thing.
Yeah.
And simplify. Remember when
You and
doubt,
I both care about the working man.
When in doubt, when dealing with the American public in a rhetorical sense, you can give them one thing reliably, two things maybe, three things is possible, and four things is out of the question. But you can, if you really want to just drive home one thing in a rhetorical opportunity, then I think he made the right choice there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he made the
This
right
is
choice.
a skilled man.
Yeah.
Next, here we go. What qualifies him? Still on the topic of what
He's
qualifies
an
him.
assemblyman and he's brilliant. So how about
So
that?
the question I asked you was what specifically in your background gives you the confidence that you can run a $115 billion budget and run this city specifically from your personal experience and your background?
I've been a state assembly member here in New York City. I've represented 130,000 people in Queens. And in the time that I've done so, I've not only delivered more than $100 million in increased bus and subway service, I've also secured $500 million in debt relief for working class taxi drivers. President Trump knows this. New Yorkers know this across the 5 boroughs. Taxis, as we're looking at them right here, are such a part of what we love about this city. And yet those same drivers were sold a lie about a ticket to the middle class if they bought a medallion. I stood with those drivers. I organized with those drivers. I went on a 15-day hunger strike with those drivers. And we secured $500 million in debt relief that allows those drivers to do more than just think about struggle.
How many employees would you be overseeing in the New York City government?
More than 300,000.
That's a lot of people. So
Yeah, but he's not going to be doing it by himself. He's going to be doing it with a team of people. Duh.
Killed
And there are
it.
going to be certain things that are going to trickle down from the decision tree. I mean, it's like you don't need to run a business to be able to run an organization. You just need to be able to run an organization according to, good values and good strategy and goals.
Yeah.
I mean, his issues are like affordability for the working class and let's face it. You tell me if I'm wrong, but there's the really nice parts of Manhattan. There's some nice parts in the other boroughs, but those financially successful places, those are all functional because of the working class people that live in other parts of the boroughs, like Queens, for example.
Yeah.
Like
The
nobody's
person who
traveling-
works at the local
no tourist
bodega,
is
yeah.
traveling to Queens. They're taking the subway in from Queens to work at the restaurant in
Times Square.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And what all he's saying is you should be able to work where you live. You should be able to live where you work. If you work in a restaurant in Midtown Manhattan, you should be able to live in Midtown Manhattan. And
Yeah, well,
yes,
that's not gonna
or
happen.
if you grew up on the Upper West Side, you should be able to afford an apartment on the Upper West Side. Jobs should be paying you more. Taxes should be lower for
Yeah,
you.
but
The
dude,
billionaires
we're
should be
talking
paying more.
about-
This is all like subtext that we know. But like as far as just messaging, he is getting it across. And this is one I wanted to point out because this is one I could see lefties getting mad at him for, but I have no problem with this at all. This is about the NYPD and
Right.
cops.
So police officers that I spoke to, they don't want a behind closed doors apology. They want a broad public apology for the things that you suggested about them. Will you do that right now?
Absolutely, I'll apologize to police officers right here because this is the apology that I've been sharing with many rank and file officers. And I apologize because of the fact that I'm looking to work with these officers, and I know that these officers, these men and women who serve in the NYPD, they put their lives on the line every single day. And I will be a mayor that
What changed your mind about it?
You know, I moved to the city when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
I grew up here. And two of the things that I thought often about was safety and justice. And growing up here, learning about the case of the exonerated five, learning about Sean Bell, learning about Eric Garner, learning about Michael Brown. And then in 2020, the year where all of these tweets are referring to, it was the year when George Floyd was killed. And it felt like safety and justice had never been further apart. And it was actually Eric Adams in 2021 who said that New Yorkers need not choose between these two things. And so one of my focuses was, how do we deliver that justice? And now what I know, having represented 100,000 people in Western Queens, is that to deliver that justice, you have to also deliver that safety. And that means representing the men and women in the NYPD. It means representing the black and brown New Yorkers who've been victims of police brutality. It means representing the Muslim New Yorkers in my district who were surveilled on the basis of their faith.
And 68% of
Just goes right into something else. But again, lefties could have a problem with him like apologizing, prostrating before
Yeah,
the
he's
NYPD.
got a-
I don't
he's-
give a fuck.
He's
Get
got
him
a
in
right
the
to-
fucking mayor's house.
He's got a right to. He's got a right to handle things the way he wants to at this point, because his style led to a decisive victory in the Democratic Party primary, proving that strategy can work and should work and is the right way to acquire power for the left. It's Democratic Party primaries. You vote twice in even years, Americans. Twice. That's the message that we got to get across. But I think like Mamdani, he's got. I mean, the New York Police Union.
Yeah,
I think they endorsed Trump.
Yeah.
So they do have some image problems. So
They endorse
like,
Trump. They attack reporters like they attacked OAME for criticizing Eric Adams on the Breakfast Club. Like they got problems, but I like that he focused his on I'm interacting with regular police officers. Yeah, the bosses will come around when all their rank and file are like, yeah, we're with this guy who's promising us like we're gonna actually not have to stand around in the subways. We're not gonna have to just like fight for overtime. We're gonna be able to work real cases and like actually fight crime and do the things that we're supposed to do and protect the community. And put off like mental services to actual mental health care professionals.
I mean,
Because he is like going around talking to like cops and stuff. He's done
but
videos.
they still. I mean, I feel like if he's going to apologize, like they need to apologize
Because,
for endorsing Trump. Like, that was
obviously,
ridiculous.
but
That's just
I get what
absolutely
his plan,
ridiculous.
his goal is, right? Because he's talking to the bosses, right, on Fox. That's who's Martha McCallum is fucking talking to or whatever, or who's complaining to Fox News about Mamdani, or leaking shit to whatever paper about Mamdani that they don't like him, whatever. He wants to like at least address them, and in this format, not stoke it further. So fine, and I get it.
No,
Get
it's
the
just- I
neutrality,
think
but then
he's being smart.
refocusing
He's
on
being
like
smart. He's walking the
the
high
rank
road,
and
which-
file. I'm trying to help them out. I'm trying to help everybody out. Justice, like here's how I can hold both those things. And talk to the lefties who's supporting him or like, oh my god, the fucking cops. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to play, there's plenty more clips, but is the thing about Israel.
No.
I'm trying to find that right now.
The most popular foreign policy story of my life.
Yeah.
And Israel this and Israel that.
Yeah, here we go. So this is, I saw another one about Eric Adams that we could play, but this is her asking the question that, of course, he's going to get asked because he's Muslim in New York. And everybody's been fucked up since 9/11 happened. Anyways.
If you are asked tomorrow night if you give credit to President Trump for the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the return of the 20 living hostages, would you raise your hand?
You know, first I want to say it's a real pleasure to be here. And thank you for having me. And it's an honor to have this opportunity to speak to so many New Yorkers and Americans across the country. And when it comes to the ceasefire, I am thankful and I have hope that it will actually endure and that it will be lasting. And I continue to have concerns because I've seen reports still, just this in the last few days, that 5 Palestinians were killed by the Israeli military. And that's what gives me pause about issuing any kind of praise or celebration at a moment when it is still so in its infancy. And what I will tell you is that in that same moment, it is also one that requires a focus on ensuring that that hope, that belief in a better future is one that is emblematic in our policies right here in New York City as well. And that's what we're hoping to lead with our...
Would you give President Trump credit or not, to any extent? Credit or not?
I think it's too early to do so.
Too early to say.
But if it proves to be something that is lasting, something that is durable, then I think that that's where you give credit.
So you've denounced Israel and the United States for the response to the slaughter on October the 7th.
The governments denounced the Israeli government, although I do understand that the Israeli people are very supportive of the Israeli government.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the media machine that they got going on there. But anyway, we should. I thought he handled that fine.
Absolutely. Because he's like, yeah, dude, if it lasts, which, it's not going to, they're already back to it.
Look, we want someone to get up and punch Trump in the face and knock him on his ass and take a flamethrower to MAGA. Zoran is not going to do that. Zoran is going to help build the possibility of that happening.
Yes.
That's what his job is to do. And
because
I think
the New York mayor's race
understand that.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say I think smart, thoughtful lefties understand that he is a stepping stone towards greatness.
Because what's happening right now is for normies, they're all bummed that Trump won again. And a year in, it seems like there's no rah resist movement happening again. There's kind of this defeatist nihilism taking hold of normies, and that's freaking them out. So a New York mayor's race is something to pay attention to, and it's New York, so it's one of the most important places on planet Earth, if I do say so myself. But it's also indicative of, especially since 9/11, Rudy Giuliani being hailed as America's mayor and blah blah blah. They've cemented this New York thing as it is representative of the country, and so they are worried about it.
Let me tell you something about Hollywood that's true about life.
Mm-hmm.
When you are trying to break into something, whether it's a job in the entertainment business or a job in finance or a job in construction or whatever, okay? When you're asking people, they're looking for a reason to not take you seriously because they get hit up all the time, especially in places like Hollywood and big money. And, they're looking, 50% of the people that come to them looking for a favor are not worth their time, at least.
Yeah. Right.
And so they're looking for a reason to not take you seriously. Most of the time, I feel, and this is something I think the left struggles with, is how do we present ourselves in a way where others are going to take us seriously? Zoran's doing that, but what I still want to hear is someone ripping conservatism out by the root.
And I think that's where someone like Graham Plattner can come in.
But you need the right hand. Think about what you need to get that done. You need a lot of people helping to make that happen.
Yeah.
All at once. It's going to take years, and it's going to take election cycles. But the thing that I was going to say was New York City is, whether you like it or not, haters, a legitimizer. It is the best urban legitimizing force in American culture. if it's going down in New York City and it's different, people are paying attention.
Yeah. Fashion
So-
capital of the world, finance capital of the world, like,
Yeah.
arguably
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
I mean, they serve different purposes
Yeah.
in different ways. Like, it would be fun to write like a book and do just New York and LA and like everything that they do and, in American culture and economy. That would be interesting. But, I mean, I think it's a lot of American culture and society because there's so many entertainment options, and think about like even just the age between us. Like when I was growing up, reality TV was just taking off.
Yeah.
It just became a thing. The real world was the real world for like 10 years until other people tried the same thing on different networks. And now you got the internet. And now you got like 2,500 channels. And so, you got to get people's attention. And New York City mayor is a notch
It's attention
on the
grabbing,
belt.
especially
It's
in a
feather.
non-election
It's a feather in the cap, yo. It's a big.
Yeah.
It's one that you notice too. It's not just any feather.
Especially
it's a big
because
feather.
it is mostly this is a Democratic Party worry, right? Because the Republicans are thinking like the Democrats did when the Tea Party happened. Oh yeah, let these crazies run, and
Right.
everyone will see how crazy you are, and then they'll vote them out. Oh shit, they're getting elected. Oh shit, they're taking over the Republican Party. So they don't want that to happen to them, and they're seeing it happen. And so the the elite establishment of this country is focused on this race. And again,
But they're such cowards because there is a way to negotiate the transition from a capitalist society to something that resembles a socialist society, because it's just not ever going to get there, at least not in my lifetime, I don't think. But and that preserves the wealth of the class, at least in a significant way. Not to the extent that they want it preserved,
Right.
but they'll still come out of it with very comfortable.
yeah.
They'll come out of it very comfortable, but
But
they're
yeah, let's
scared to death.
Let's finish this clip of
Yeah.
the Israel question.
Yeah.
In fact, at times you've called it a lasting stain, the response, and at times you have left October 7th out of your statements completely around this issue. Right now, you just talked about Israelis killing some Palestinians, but Hamas is killing Palestinians within Gaza. And they have not returned the bodies that they promised to return, including 2 Americans, Itai Chen and Omer Nutra, whose families we have interviewed over these months. So what is your response to what Hamas is doing now?
I think those are bodies and remains that should absolutely be returned. And I think that I have no issue with critiquing Hamas or the Israeli government, because my critiques all come from a place of universal human rights. And my focus, however, is right here in New York City and transforming the most expensive city in America into one that's affordable for each and every New Yorker.
But, okay, and I want to get to that, absolutely. But do
Hammer
you
it.
believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza?
I believe that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all. And as it pertains to Israel and Palestine, that we have to ensure that there is peace. And that is the future that we have to fight for.
But you won't say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up leadership in Gaza.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, that applies to the Israeli military, applies to anyone you could ask me about.
Okay.
So
I
here's
mean-
how I would say, here's how I would handle it. I'd go way more casual with it. And I'd be like, I mean, because, this is just, if he, white privilege on display, but it'd be like, hey, that whole UN appearance by Netanyahu went really well, huh? Yeah, it looks like something's going on with the Israeli government, and make sure we separate the Israeli government from the Israeli citizens and so forth. And, kind of take jabs at the Israeli establishment and Zionism. Anti-Zionism is going to be on the rise for the next 10 to 20 years.
I saw the APAC tracker account, which is a great account to follow on social media. It literally just posts like under any politician if they get money from APAC. And APAC has directly referenced them now at least several times over the last 5 days, and they hadn't before ever. And that means they're getting nervous.
Right.
They're getting nervous. They can feel their influence slipping.
Well,
on
what did
set.
he do? He went. I think he did 65% with Jews in New York.
Yeah, I mean, he did great numbers
So
in New York. I
they can
mean,
fuck
I
off.
watched the rally he did on Monday night, and they had this half Jewish, half Italian comedian, Gianmarco, come out there and host the thing, and he was like, "You got my parents' vote," and like that's most of New York, and that's just crazy. This is a little, just another clip from
Sure.
the interview.
Why not?
City's already in debt. The governor says no to new taxes. Like Margaret Thatcher said, you know, socialism's great until you run out of everyone else's money, other people's money.
Well, what Andrew Cuomo said is that if he had
Thatcher.
$959 million, he'd give it to Elon Musk in tax credits because that's exactly what he did. And I bring that up to you to say that it's often a question of whether you have the willingness to spend that money to benefit working class people, not where that money is in the first
So
place.
what would you cut? What city's already in?
Constantly brings it back to New York. Like it's just the only things he's saying are, I care about New York City. I care about working class people. I care about New York City. I care about working class people. What'd you say? Question about Israel? Working class people. Working class people in New York City. I love it. I love how he fucking brings
he's
everything
staying-
back
he's-
to his core points.
Well, I think he's also like staying in his lane. Like he's like, I'm the mayor of New York City. I don't. The implicit in his response to the Israel Hamas bullshit
Yeah.
was, that's not my place. I'm not an expert on those things. I'm not going to weigh in. Wouldn't the world be a better place if people admitted that they don't know what they're talking about and don't have an opinion on something, and like recognize like, yeah, I have maybe some inklings of an opinion on what should happen, but I'm not an expert.
And I don't really
There are-
know.
Right. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? People just embrace the I don't know thing.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of people who should learn that, here's Donald Trump.
Oh.
Donald Trump was saying stuff. I'm going to play some of his clips and we'll react to these. This is just the only one I saw because it was so funny. But yeah, he's talking about Chicago and what he's doing there with ICE.
Chicago, and we have to listen to this man stand up and say that we're bad people. And the people of Chicago are walking around with MAGA hats. You have women, beautiful black women, walking around with MAGA hats. Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. They're not interested in National Guard or Army, Navy. Bring them in. Marines, bring in the Marines. They just want the crime to stop.
Like, at this point, do you think staffers are showing him AI images and being like,
Oh,
this is what's happening in Chicago?
No, they're just telling him what to say. It's the Steves. It's Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, and there's probably some other people that if I saw their faces, I'd recognize them. But it's really Stephen Miller's show right now.
Yeah,
I
I think
believe
Stephen
that.
Miller really is running the show. Like, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
first term
No,
it
he's
was
pure
Steve
evil.
Bannon.
He's pure evil. He's
He
pure
is.
evil. He is pure evil.
He is. It's fucking terrifying.
Look, and
Actually,
dude, that's the thing about like if you that's the thing about evil though is like if you it's weird. Okay, it sounds so fucking vain, but if you look at people closely enough, if they're famous and you get to see them in pictures and stuff like that, like you can see the evil in them in an aesthetic way.
yeah.
Like Stephen Miller is evil, and look at his resting facial position is one of I am going to hurt people. Like Adolf Hitler was an ugly man,
Yeah.
and like Winston Churchill was an ugly man too, but he had this love for his country. Adolf Hitler didn't know what love was, and that was obvious. But I've never seen any like humanity. I've never even seen him like play with a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can see, like if you where I'm going with this is like if you do believe in God, which I wrestle with, I'm an admitted agnostic, but it feels like he's kind of giving us some pretty obvious signs as to who's evil and who's not. Ben
I mean,
Shapiro, for
even
example,
Trump, even Trump says
Trump
it right
is-
here. Look, watch.
Didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above it. I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching
There
him
he
on
is.
television. I'd love to have
Satan
him come
incarnate.
up and explain
Oh, my
his
God,
true
he's
feelings. But maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you. And they love what you say about crime and stopping crime. Didn't get
I mean, like even Trump is like, man, I go a little bit too far. Put you
Yeah.
on camera. You have to laugh, or you'll cry and pull
Or
your
you'll
hair
cry.
out.
That's why comedians. That's why comedians have suicide problems, because they're laughing, so they don't cry. They're all depression cases. You know?
Absolutely.
They're all depression cases. Because if you're into stand-up comedy, like, you're thinking a lot, and that's what, like, you know, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying about, like, these people who, when you look at them, if you trust your instinct, if you look at them long enough, you realize that person is evil. Like, evil exists, and it's usually straight white men is a good place to start. Like, it's, you know, it is not a coincidence.
I mean, like Miller really is just an evil, angry man. Like, have you seen those old clips of him when he was in like high school and his hair is already receding? He's an angry.
Yes.
He's
I
one
call
of those
them- so I
people
call-
that we were talking about in the
so-
beginning.
I call Stephen Miller and Ben Shapiro and Steve Bannon and a whole host of others revenge nerds, right?
Yeah.
They're guys that never won the big game and never got the girl, and now it's all about revenge because they missed out on those really great early life experiences that most of the rest of us had. Usually we had one or the other, sometimes both, you know, and they didn't get any. They didn't get
It's
any.
this.
They want revenge
It's
on
this.
us.
It's
Yeah,
these
look at them.
people.
They're ugly. There you go. See
It's
what I'm
these
talking about?
people.
Look at this. Who's this guy on the left? Center
I mean-
left. That's so fucking ugly. This guy in the center right. This guy upper right.
All
the guy
of
in
them
the
are
top
just
middle.
like, you can see the hatred,
You can see the evil.
like morphing their physical beings. These are the people that have control of the fucking government, man. And it sucks. It's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying because you know they're wrong. Everyone knows they're wrong.
Well, the
There's
thing that's
still- I
really
hate
scary
the-
is the thing that's really scary, bro, is the Gen Zs, because they think Trump is normal. They
Yeah.
are having a tough time accepting that this is fascism, and they are now voting age. You got to figure, remember, like the guys who are men and women who are 25, 24 right now, they were only like 15 or 14 when Trump first started running.
Yeah, dude.
So
10 years, yo.
Yeah, so like we gotta rebuild the
They
country.
don't
from
know.
the ground up.
Like, yeah, they don't know that this is wildly
But
abnormal.
what they
Just
do,
like
but
I
what
didn't
they are
know.
capable of, but what they are tech savvy enough to do is to go down a research rabbit hole, and they figure out
Yeah.
what actually has been going on since 1980, and how our frame of reference for what the relationship between government and citizen should be has changed and deteriorated since then. That's what they can do. That's what I have hope for. You got to get people to do it on their own. You got to catalyze the research rabbit hole in them, and then when they do it, you know, then they've earned it. Then they've come out and they're never going back, you know.
Yeah.
And then they're maybe going to get someone else on the horse, but they've got to go through the research rabbit hole, and that's what I try to do with my essays is try to give people like the research bullet points that they can use in arguments with other conservatives. But ultimately, the centrists and the moderates, they're the ones that could actually be lefticized, and so getting
Yeah.
through to them is tough.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm hopeful when I see when I see people like Abdullah Saeed or Graham Plattner breaking through, at least what seems like breaking through in a way that makes the establishment nervous enough to get fucking old ass Janet Mills to run for the Senate seat just so that they don't have to deal with Plattner running. And I think just getting that message across of like El Said was Medicare for all, investing in healthcare is good
Right.
for your business, for your
Right.
small business, because then you don't have to pay for your
Exactly.
employees' healthcare. How's
One
that?
less thing for
Like,
you to have to deal with.
exactly.
As an employer, yeah.
Like getting those messages across, like unionizing messages across. Just the No Kings protest, I think helps. But again, like you've been saying, the DSA needs to be out there, getting people to sign up, getting people activated,
Right.
getting people doing stuff on a weekend basis. Like I like
Well, so we got,
Zoran's campaign
got
of
the,
like scavenger hunts or Cat Abigail in Chicago doing like knitting drives and streams and stuff like getting.
we got the No
engaged.
Kings rally is on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go?
No, I don't go to any protests. I don't go to any protests, dude. I can't afford it.
With your
Okay,
job?
I can't afford with my job, with like getting arrested. The hair, people already don't know what race I am, so I could be Hispanic. Like, I get confused for Hispanic or Middle Eastern, and that's not what the NYPD. That's what they're looking for. So I don't fuck with
All right.
protests, dude.
Fair
I
enough.
just don't. But
enough.
last thing I wanted to react with you is
Yeah,
that
sure.
tonight South Park is back
Oh, nice.
with a new episode, and this is their trailer for the new episode.
Tonight, your students appear to be in some kind of cult involving the numbers 6 and 7 on an all-new South Park. South Park. New episode tonight at 10.
All right, so that's Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel.
So they're coming after Peter Thiel. There's some new meme going on TikTok, 6 and 7. I don't know what that is, but they're coming after Peter Thiel. So I'm excited. I'm making a reaction to review tomorrow for this. I love South Park. I'm happy they're back. They are spotty this season. They're like taking weeks off, which they usually don't. They usually just make every episode in a week. But they've been pissing off all the right people this year, and I'm fucking
Yeah,
thrilled.
they're
with it.
geniuses. They're fantastic. Those guys are great.
Yeah, I think Anch is right. The social contract needs to be revived. Like, people need to call each other out for heinous behavior, like fascism, like cheering on ICE,
Well,
like
I think the
ripping
narcissism
families
is
apart.
the narcissism is pretty evident when you say that law enforcement has a racial profiling problem, and then people interpret that as you hating on America.
Right.
And it's like, what?
And then Mom Donnie has to like apologize for these tweets
Right.
from
But it's like
2020.
we clearly have a racial profiling problem in law enforcement. Like, that's not, the data proves it. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's not a coincidence. And so for it just shows you how much power those police unions have.
Yeah.
For him to
For
have to
an
feel like-
anti-union, party, they love
Yeah.
those police unions.
They sure do. They sure do. Are we gonna bring in the next host to segue into the next hour?
Are you
let's
ready,
see, Nick.
Lumen? Yes.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
All right,
Hey,
let's do it.
what up, Lumen? How you doing, my man? Oh, you're on.
Oh, you
mute.
gotta unmute yourself.
Gotta unmute.
There you
Yeah,
go, brother. How are ya?
it's almost 7 Eastern, 7 Central, 6, 7, 8, 7. That's so that's a thing. Like, it's a white kid thing. It
Nice,
just
the best
okay.
kind.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
refers to
TikTok-
like height. It's like a TikTok height thing. And they just it's like one of those memes within a meme. It really doesn't mean anything. It just know it makes
It makes
old
people
our age
confused.
confused.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
so they
my-
think it's funny. Yeah.
My wife is a therapist, and she works in a I don't want to say all black school. It's not a HBC. Wouldn't be a university. HBCH. It's not that, but it's a school in New Orleans where like it's mostly black kids. And like nobody's doing Cindy or 6'7". It's definitely a white kid phenomenon.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think about? Are you going to be here tomorrow for the debate, the Cuomo debate?
Oh, that's tomorrow is Thursday. I have therapy, and then
Or are you going to watch it?
I should be able to swing that. I don't see why not. I just had to run through my mind what's going on, but
What do
I
you
should.
think
Yeah,
of,
I should be there.
His appearance on Fox.
It was pretty good. I mean, and I watched it through the lens of Hassan Piker at work today through my band account. Which I'm very proud of that band. But no, Hassan was right. Like at the end, they had no choice but to humanize him. And I also saw the Cuomo hecklers today with the fake Cuomo, and it's just like individual like agitator cells that are just following Cuomo around.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
great.
making him look foolish.
I
love this. I am more interested, honestly. Like, God bless Mondami and all that. I'm not trying to downplay the guy, but as far as entertainment goes,
Right.
I'm more interested in the
Tearing 'em down.
humiliation ritual
Yeah.
of
Me too.
Cuomo. This is
Yeah.
this is something like this is medieval times. Like it's like a guy
Decades
like
coming, dude.
self-flagellating himself for like no
Yeah, what's
reason.
he
Like he's
thinking?
not gonna win. I don't.
Dude, the interview with Stephanie Rule, where she's like, what do you and Trump have in common that you would have the same donors? And he's like, well, we're both
Yo.
from New York. So, people who know that we're from New York would want to donate to it.
Yo, and like you said about Fox News, like one of the things is like, oh, they're asking Mondami like, oh, you've only run a you've only been like an organizer or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Business.
And I was like, Donald Trump has been president twice, dog. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that is done. Like, that's dead.
Yeah,
and I mean that in the most positive way. And I'm actually going to get into that a little bit in my stream to where I think, like, Donald Trump is the most perfect American president. Like, if you could make him in a lab,
yes.
like, that's what, if you took America and it, like, birthed a president, like, it would be
all
Donald
the
Trump.
stereotypes of America.
Exactly
in
what
one
we
man.
deserve.
Yep.
And it's like, I tell anybody that, like, you trying to stream on Twitch, you trying to get some motion on YouTube, you trying to do art, you trying to do music. Donald Trump has been president twice. What is your excuse? like, even if you're bad at what you're doing, just keep going. Just be too stupid to lose. And like, it'd be like anything, Kevin Durant, anything is possible. Like,
That was
I'm
actually
only halfway joking.
No, that
How's
wasn't
my
Kevin
cam-
Durant.
Go ahead.
That wasn't.
Oh,
Kevin
wasn't Kevin
That was-
Durant? Who was that?
No,
It's
it was
Kevin. No,
Yeah, it was from
the
Celtics.
Timberwolves guy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
God,
it's not
embarrassing.
Durant. You're right. It's Kevin
Kevin
Garnett.
Garnett.
you.
Yeah.
I can see him in my
Anyway,
face.
I was gonna say Garnett.
I'm gonna head out, guys. But it's always good to see you, and thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to me, please do so. Remove YouTube from the stream, and don't forget, you don't get change in America by asking nicely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Take care, folks.